if that statistic is correct, why is the president borrowing 1.7 billion from World Bank? Why did he borrow 1.7 billion dollars from the World Bank? Why, as the Senate, approved $21 billion dollars so far, and with many others coming for consideration? We will not be surprised if the president starts borrowing from OPE and money points very soon.
Well, somebody mentioned about borrowing. Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong in borrowing. Absolutely nothing wrong. Every country of the world borrows money. Every country of the world borrows money. Every country. America is the biggest economy in the world. America owes almost 100% of her GDP as debt. China is the second biggest economy. It owes over 50% of her GDP as debt. Number 3 is Japan. Japan owes 230% of her GDP as debt. 230%. So as so many other countries, even Singapore that we celebrate owes 120% of its GDP. So if Singapore has 1 naira, they owe 120, 1.1 naira, 20 kobo. Norway that has the biggest sovereign wealth fund of 1.4 trillion, still owe 50% of its GDP. What is wrong in borrowing is when you borrow for consumption. If you borrow for production, it helps your economy. And because we talked about borrowing, I will show you where borrowing has worked. Several countries of the world where borrowing has worked. It hasn't worked here because you borrowed for consumption. The consequence today is that Nigeria is spending 90% of its revenue to service debts, when the average revenue you need to service debt should not be more than 25% of your revenue. But Nigeria, because you borrow for consumption, it's like a human being. If you go to bank today and borrow money in order to do and farm, do agriculture, do industry, do everything, you'll be able to pay back. But if you borrow it for burial, you will not pay back.
Imagine waking up every day not knowing how you will feed your family, yet here in Nigeria now holds a staggering amount of 149 trillion naira. People are crying out, we can't even afford food, we can't afford transport, so where sadly is enjoying all this borrowing? The pain is free and the anger online is boiling over. Alright, welcome back to this YouTube channel. Nigerians online right now are crying out, reacting to the shocking news that our national loan has hit 149 trillion. People are asking, how did we even get here? Because when you look at the hunger in the land and the level of hardship, it's difficult to believe that all this borrowing has brought any real benefit to the ordinary Nigerians. On social media, you can literally feel the pain and anger. Some Nigerians are asking, how is all this borrowing helping us when many can't even afford food? Others are saying the leaders are just piling up loans with nothing to show for it, while ordinary people are left hungry. One person even wrote, we borrow to build things we don't even use, but we can't even borrow money to build things that will put food on our table. That alone shows you the level of frustration out there. And it's not just online reaction. Let's not forget that only a few weeks ago, President Tinubu himself posted that the government had met its revenue target, yet barely the next day, the news still broke that Nigeria was going for another round of loans. Nigerians are asking, if we are meeting revenue targets, why are we still borrowing recklessly? The contradictions are just too glaring. Now, here's where it gets even hotter. Dino Melaye also came out strongly on AriseTV today, blasting the government for what he called reckless spending. According to him, Nigerians are dying of hunger while the leaders are busy buying luxury items like jet and yacht. He even shocked everyone when he said, if care is not taken, this government may soon be borrowing money from loan apps like OPE and MoneyPoint just to survive. The statement alone has gone viral and is now trending heavily online because it perfectly captures how low things have gotten.
Administration has achieved their revenue target. That's something to smile about. I mean, it says from January to let me land. From January to August 2025, total collections reached 20.59 trillion naira. a 40.5% increase from 14.6 trillion recorded in 2024.
If that statistic is correct, why is the president borrowing 1.7 billion from World Bank? Why did he borrow 1.7 billion dollars from the World Bank? Why, as the Senate approved 21 billion dollars so far, and with many others coming for consideration? Many others are still coming for consideration.
Mind you,
and this government is one of the most reckless governments in the history of this country.
How do you mean?
The president who said he wanted to come and curb wastages bought a yacht. That yacht that the president bought has never been to the perimeter, territorial area of Nigeria. It's between Monaco and Paris. And what do we need a yacht for? In a time of austerity, in a time of pervasive hunger like this? The president also, within few months in office, bought a presidential jet that cost Nigeria billions.
No, he said it was a gift.
I am telling you that it was purchased. Gift by who? Gifts are to be declared. Gifts are to be declared. A president who gets a gift, why was Tom David West removed from office? It was because he got a gift of a gold wristwatch that was not declared. If you have a gift, declare who gave it to you. And they called it a gift because the money used in the purchase of that aircraft was not appropriated by the National Assembly. The same president, in the 8th Senate, the budget of the National Assembly was 150 billion. From 150 billion, today the president have increased the budget of the National Assembly to over 370 billion in order to make them a parastatal or department of the villa. So a president who said he was coming to curb wastages, who said he was coming to renew hope. I can catalog all this. Bought a yacht, bought a Cadillac, bought an aircraft, increased the money of the National Assembly, and I've borrowed like no other president in history. If you are making more money, then why are you borrowing? To the extent that the Speaker of the House of Representatives today,
I read it. He was
is also concerned, despite he's a member of the APC.
I read that he was talking about
and
how
we will not be surprised if the president start borrowing from OPE and money points very soon.
Well,
one of the fundamental errors we have committed as a people is that this government particularly is insensitive. We voted for a government that does not care for the people, that is not concerned about the people. Go out there and see the magnitude of killings going on. Go out there and see people dying of malnutrition. Go there and see poor people paying ransom for family members being kidnapped on a daily basis. Go out there and see what the economy is doing to the people.
Let me comment here.
And all this money is borrowed, my brother. All this money is borrowed. No roads, no food, no housing. No housing. Agriculture, there's a decline. So, transportation, babu.
When you check reactions to Dino's comment, many Nigerians are nodding in agreement. Some are saying, yes, that's exactly what it feels like. A government with no plan, just borrowing blindly. Others argue that if the government can afford to buy private jets, then they should be able to find money to feed the masses. People are tired of leaders living large while citizens queue for garri and rice. Now, let's move to the National Assembly. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, also reacted during their sitting today. He expressed deep concern that Nigerian debt profile has gone completely out of hand and called for transparency and accountability in the way these loans are being managed. He said, it's not just enough to keep borrowing. The government must show Nigerians what every borrow money, every borrow naira is being used for. Abbas made it clear that the country cannot continue like this without a clear plan.
The burden of public debt has become a matter of urgent national and regional concern. While it is widely accepted that public debt remains a vital instrument for financing development, especially in emerging economies, It must be emphasized that such debt must remain sustainable, transparent, and justifiable. Effective parliamentary oversight, particularly through the work of the Public Account and Finance Committees, is therefore indispensable to ensuring that debt accumulation does not become a pathway to fiscal crisis or intergenerational problem. It is therefore fitting that WAPAC has chosen this critical theme for deliberation at the 11th conference holding here in Abuja. This very important gathering also aligns closely with the legislative agenda of Nigeria's 10th House of Representatives under the able leadership of His Excellency the Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas, PhD. The House, therefore, is deeply committed to promoting regional integration, advancing parliamentary diplomacy, and strengthening democratic institutions. We believe that entrenching a culture of accountability, transparency, probity, and fiscal discipline in the management of public finances is not just a national imperative, but of course a regional.
So can you see it's not just ordinary people crying out, even lawmakers are sounding the alarm. Nigerians are asking, how will this 149 trillion naira debt affect us? Will it mean more hunger, higher taxes, or worse? Will our children and grandchildren be the one paying the price for today's reckless borrowing? When you connect the dots from the online reaction to Dino Melaye fiery warning to Tajudeen Abbas concerns, one thing is clear. Nigerians are not just angry, they are also scared. Scared that the future is being mortgaged without any clear direction. But what do you think about all this? Should Nigeria continue to borrow at this rate when millions of people are already going hungry? Or should there be a total rethink on how loans are used in this country? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's hear your voice. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel today for more updates on Nigerian political and social issues. Also, like and share this video so that more people can join this conversation.